Hello there. Now, this is the third devlog since I started making this game, and it's been 10 days so far. Yep. And I've got a lot of things done. Let's start with the list. Basically, everything related to combat and enemy NPCs, the basis of it, is done. So let's show it. Starting. I'm not sure if I switch to the melee one, it's gonna be working as intended, but I'll try it later. Probably should have pressed play before it. But here's the gist of it. The enemy, the whole AI system, it is a node-based thing using the animator, like a state machine, but using the animator as the driver for everything. And in the animator, you can set up different behaviors on the states that you put here. And if I can hit this thing, yeah, let's go. For instance, the passive patrol state, it has a passive patrol behavior. And while it's in this state, it's going to a specific position set up by the state. And then when it reaches the position, it goes back into the idle and it waits for it. But if I hit it with a thing, now it's aggressive. And it has a throwing fireball state, an idling state where it's trying to look at me. And during the idling state as well, it checks for any obstacles that is in this way and chases me. One thing that I gotta change here is that what it's using to check the position is currently a line cast. I might have to change that to a sphere cast, so things like this won't happen. But it's already chasing me, so that's pretty good. And if I go way too far away from it as well, it tries to reach me by running. And it has like a maximum distance, which it can stay away. And both me and the enemy can die. Not much happens when I die. It's just I lay down on the floor and the game kind of like stops working right now. But I'll make a proper die state when I actually know what's going to happen when I die. Bonk. Nope. Oh yeah, and you can like block projectiles with your own projectiles as well. That's kind of fun. And another thing, let me see. Let's see if I can make this happen. Yeah, the enemies actually interact with the other things on the world as well. Like the projectiles, they're not exclusively limited to the player. They can hit other enemies and they can react with other enemies as well. So an enemy can like accidentally trigger a reaction on one of their friends or on something in the world. And that can be helpful to you or not very helpful to you. And that's one of the things that I'm thinking I'll keep it. I might change it, but I'm not sure. But I think it's very fun this way. And for me to change the entirety of the AI, all I have to do is to change the controller here. So this is the range enemy, and then I have the passive enemy, which is not really passive, it's just a melee enemy. I'll just wait for it to load. And I'm gonna let myself die on this one, just so you can see what happens. But with the melee enemy, I also did another thing that this is slightly different from the one before, from the ranged, which if it starts chasing you from a certain distance, it charges at you with a jump attack. So let's make sure I'm far away enough from it. And then it's gonna come and go, whee! Bonk. Yeah, the only thing I think I set the cooldown is way too high. I gotta make it like 1, maybe 0.5. Let's see. Yeah. Then it hits me much faster. Bonk. If I try to run away, it tries to stay very close to me. The only way you can actually make them go further away is by staggering them with the reactions. But then it will charge back at you with the jump attack. And the entire thing is quite modular, actually. It's pretty fun to mess around with. So let's get out of here and expand this thing. So I got the enter state, then it goes into the basic idle. Right now, it doesn't have anything that it just checks where the enemy is. Like if it sees you, it goes after you. I'm gonna make the enemies that do that later, but I made like passive enemies so far that are just like they're there, and unless you like, if you don't hit them, they'll just keep on staying there, and that's fine. And here's basically how this works. If it takes damage, it goes into the chase state. If it takes enough damage, it does like the animation for it staggering. When it's chasing you, it can either go into jump attack or into melee idle stance, which is the one which is like the boxing one. And if the cooldown is if it already waited for the cooldown, then it hits you. And I can change these things like the states and the transitions and everything anytime that I want, and put new states, put new attacks, put anything that I want to change here. It's a pretty fun little system to work with, and that's what I got so far with the combat. One of the things of the projectiles, like I said, they can hit another other enemies, but they don't hit themselves. And the next step will be checking out level design and replicating it text brush style in Unity or something similar. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make maps like in a practical way that doesn't take way too long, or that I don't have to use outside 3D applications to do. And that's it for today. See ya.